get ready because tonight we're diving deep into a story that's both creepy and pretty thought-provoking, you know? It's a first-hand account. Someone shared it online. It's called La Bruja Caída. That's the fallen witch in Spanish.
Okay.
I think you've always been fascinated by those stories where it's like, is this real or is this not? You know what I mean? Those stories where reality gets a little fuzzy.
Right.
And this one takes us straight into like the heart of Mexican folklore, right? We got a late night camping trip, strange vibes the whole time, and then a terrifying encounter. Like seriously terrifying. And it leaves our narrator questioning like everything, you know?
Well, and what makes this account even more compelling, I think, is that it's from someone who considered himself a skeptic.
Really?
Yeah. He's basically dragged into this camping trip near Mexico City. It's almost against his will, you know? And you can totally feel that reluctance, like, in his writing.
Yeah, and he even says, like, right at the beginning that he's got this bad feeling about the trip, like, before they even get there.
Exactly. It's like something is just off from the start, even before they step foot in those woods.
Totally.
And then it's like that sense of unease is just amplified, you know, by the tension that's already there between one of the couples in the group.
Oh, so there's drama on top of everything else.
Oh, yeah. And it's almost like the story is like subtly setting the stage for something bad to happen.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing.
Like a storm brewing.
Exactly. And keep in mind, this isn't some remote, like, wilderness they're going to.
Right.
This is near Mexico City. It's a campsite that they've been to before, at least it was familiar to them.
I see.
Until they get there, and it's unexpectedly crowded. Like, way more people than usual.
Oh, so that's weird. So what do they do?
Well, so they decide to head deeper into the woods.
Okay.
Which, you know, might not have been the best idea.
I can already tell this is going to be bad.
Yeah, and it's Hamey, one of their friends, who suggests it.
Oh, Hamey.
Yeah, and that's what leads them into, like, the truly strange part of this story.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so imagine this. You're walking through these woods at night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you come across a group of people, like 20 people, all just standing there completely silent, just watching you.
Oh, no. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, and right away, that's creepy, right? But then there's also a figure in the group who looks like a priest.
Oh, okay, so now it's even weirder.
Right. And the silence, like in Mexican folklore, silence, especially when it comes to witchcraft, that means something.
Really? What does it mean?
Well, it could be secrecy, or it could be hidden knowledge.
Okay.
Or maybe even like a ritual that's not supposed to be seen, you know?
Oh, so they stumbled into something they weren't supposed to see.
Right. And to make it even worse, a couple of teenagers from that group, they start following them, like deeper into the woods.
Oh, come on. No way. They're being followed by teenagers, too.
Yeah. Like, are they leading them somewhere on purpose? Who knows? But it definitely adds to that creepy feel.
No, for sure. That is creepy.
So they keep going. They finally find this secluded spot, described as super beautiful, almost magical. They set up camp there, but all they can think about is that weird encounter, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to relax after that.
Me neither.
Yeah.
And that silence that felt peaceful at first, it's starting to feel oppressive. Like, something's gonna happen.
Uh-oh.
And then you hear this shriek in the distance.
No.
Yeah, and then there's chanting, and then running footsteps.
Oh my gosh. See, I told you this was going to be bad. Like, my heart is actually racing right now.
Well, think about it. They use sound in horror stories all the time,
right,
to create suspense, right?
Yeah.
But it's not just that. It's like it has roots in folklore, in rituals all over the world.
Oh, interesting.
You know, sound, chanting, rhythmic movements. They can all create like altered states of consciousness. Some people believe they can use it to commune with spirits, you know, or ward off evil.
So it's not just about scaring the reader.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's tapping into something like primal deep down inside us.
Okay, so what happens next? After the shriek and the chanting?
Well, two of their friends, Hamey and Sophia, they decide to go for a walk.
A walk. In the dark. After all that.
Yeah, not the best idea, right?
Definitely not.
And they come back, like, totally shaken, saying they felt something brush past them.
Ugh, I hate that. I hate when people say that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, now they have to investigate.
Of course they do. Curiosity always wins.
Right. So they split into pairs to cover more ground. And that's when our narrator and his girlfriend, Mariana, they make the horrifying discovery.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. What did they see?
Well, first they see Jamie's flashlight, like it's frozen, just pointing at something in the darkness.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and as they get closer, they see her.
Her. Wait, who's her?
The figure, she's described as this female figure with arms like twisted branches, and her skin is like bark covered in moss.
Oh, that is creepy.
Right. And she's wearing this tattered black dress. Or maybe it's a cloak, I don't know. But then she turns, and our narrator, he describes this smile like it's grotesque, inhuman, but with these human eyes that are filled with hate.
Wow. Okay, that's where it crosses the line from unsettling to, like, straight up terrifying.
I know, right? In that moment, Hubei, who's been totally frozen this whole time, he finally speaks. He says, "Es una bruja. La acaban de tirar."
Okay, hold on. What does that mean?
Well, it means it's a witch. They just threw her.
Whoa.
And the word bruja in Mexican folklore, it's not just like the witches we see in movies. It's more than that.
So, like, what's different about it?
Well, they're often seen as these figures with ancient knowledge, you know.
Okay.
They can heal, but they can also like seriously hurt you. They're linked to nature.
Right.
Which is why the description of this figure, the way she looks, it's so striking.
Yeah, it's like she's part of the forest itself. And the way he says tirar, that word, it's kind of ambiguous, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tirar can mean to throw away, like you're getting rid of something you don't want.
Okay.
But it could also mean to cast, like a spell.
Whoa. So what was Jaime trying to say? Was this being literally thrown away? Or was it something more like ritualistic?
Right. And we don't know because right at that moment, the most terrifying thing happens.
What? What happened?
This ear-splitting shriek just erupts, like from everywhere.
No way.
Yeah, like the forest itself is screaming. And then silence again.
I bet they ran. I would run.
Oh, of course, who wouldn't? But that encounter, that glimpse into something they can't explain, it changed our narrator. He went from skeptic to believer, just like that.
That's wild. So what happens to us when we experience something that just like breaks our understanding of the world? What's going on in our minds?
That's a great question, and that's what we're going to talk about in part 2. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're still talking about La Bruja Caída and that chilling encounter in the woods. Man, we've got a lot to unpack here, don't we?
I'm still trying to figure it all out, to be honest. Like, what did Shimi even mean when he said they just threw her? I mean, was she literally thrown away? Or was there something else going on?
Well, that's where, understanding Mexican folklore,
Mm-hmm.
the beliefs about witchcraft, it's all really important.
So we're not just dealing with a scary story, we're dealing with a whole, like, belief system that might explain what they saw.
Exactly. In a lot of cultures, witches, they're not just, the evil villains we see in movies. They're more complex than that.
Okay.
They can be powerful, dangerous. And in Mexican folklore, they're often linked to, like, ancient knowledge, healing, but also, the ability to do some serious harm. And they're deeply connected to nature, which is why I think the description of the figure with the bark-like skin and the moss, it's so creepy.
It's like she's part of the forest itself, yeah.
Right. And remember that group they saw earlier, the one with the priest-like figure? Them just standing there in the woods at night, silent. It all points to them doing something secretive, maybe some kind of ritual.
And you said before that silence has a specific meaning in Mexican folklore. So what does that tell us about what they might have been doing?
Well, silence can mean a lot of things, respect, reverence, but also sometimes it's about keeping knowledge hidden, especially, powerful or dangerous knowledge.
Okay.
In the context of witchcraft, silence can be a way to protect the ritual, keep outside forces from interfering.
So is it possible they were doing some kind of banishment ritual, like trying to get rid of this witch, this bruja, because they saw her as a threat?
Yeah, that's a really plausible interpretation. I mean, in some traditions, witches, they can absorb or deflect, negative energy. They're like conduits for harmful forces.
Oh, I see.
So throwing her away, it could have been their way of getting rid of that negativity,
Yeah.
protecting the community.
Like a scapegoat almost.
Yeah, you can say that. And the fact that the word tarar, the way Jamie used it, it's ambiguous. It makes it even more complicated.
Oh, so?
Well, it could also mean like a magical act, the casting of a spell, rather than actually physically throwing her away.
So maybe they were redirecting that negative energy, sending it somewhere else.
Exactly. Or maybe it was a way of appeasing like the natural world, offering something back to keep things in balance, between humans and the supernatural.
I never thought about it like that. It's amazing how this one story, it just opens up all these different possibilities, like so many ways of understanding how humans relate to to the unknown.
That's what's so cool about folklore, right? It reflects our deep need to make sense of the world, to explain things we don't understand.
But let's not forget about the narrator. He started as a skeptic and ended up believing in the inexplicable. What does that kind of transformation tell us about the power of these kinds of experiences?
I think it really shows us that sometimes, even the most rational person, they can be shaken by encounters with the unknown. When we experience something that just defies all logic, challenges everything we thought we knew about the world, it forces us to reevaluate everything.
And in those moments when we're not sure what to believe anymore, we tend to turn to whatever helps us make sense of it all, right?
Totally. Whether it's religion, folklore, even psychology, we need a narrative, a framework to help us process it all.
So for some people, seeing something like La Bruja Caída, it might actually make their religious beliefs even stronger. Like it's proof of a spiritual world, things we just can't comprehend.
Absolutely. It can give them meaning, purpose, especially when the world suddenly feels a lot more mysterious and unpredictable.
Mm.
And it connects them to other people who believe the same things, who can support them.
But what about people who don't have strong religious beliefs? How do they deal with an experience that just doesn't make sense?
Well, for some, it can lead to a lot of questioning, searching for answers. They might look into folklore, mythology, even scientific theories about the paranormal.
Like they're trying to find proof that what happened to them was real, that they're not alone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And often that search, it leads them to other people who've had similar experiences.
Yeah.
And that can be a huge comfort.
Yeah, knowing you're not the only one who's seen something like that, that can be really powerful.
Definitely. It validates the experience, makes it less scary, less isolating, and it creates a space for people to talk about it openly, explore different interpretations without feeling judged.
So even though these encounters with the unexplained, they can be terrifying, they can also change us for the better. They force us to look at our beliefs, face our fears, and maybe even expand our understanding of the world and our place in it.
And isn't that what the deep dive is all about? Exploring the unknown, questioning everything, and trying to understand the mysteries that are out there.
For sure, La Bruja Caída might just be one story, but it raises so many questions about belief, perception, the limits of human knowledge. And it reminds us that sometimes the most profound truths, they're the ones we can't fully explain.
So next time you're out in the world, just remember to keep an open mind. You never know what mysteries you might stumble upon.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. And remember, the exploration doesn't end here. Keep questioning, keep searching, and keep diving deeper into the mysteries of the world around us.
If you enjoyed this video and want to dive deeper into more cases like this one, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to like the video if you found the story compelling, and share it with your friends and family who might be interested in true crime and mysteries. By subscribing, you'll stay up to date with all our latest content and join a growing community of curious minds exploring the most fascinating cases. Click the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Your support means everything.